Hi, I'm Alex Burst.
And I'm Noah Zingarelli.
And welcome to Conscious Kitchen,
Kitchen,
where we teach you fun, delicious, and nutritious plant-based recipes. Today we're going to be teaching you everything you need to know about hosting a mushroom shawarma night. So shawarma is a dish that originated in what is today modern-day Turkey and Lebanon, and it's traditionally made with beef, lamb, or chicken, but we're going to substitute with mushrooms, which still have a nice meaty flavor and are a very easy vegetarian swap. So we're also going to teach you how to make a muhammara dip. So similar to our last episode where we made falafel Buddha bowls, we're going to be making a mushroom shawarma bowl, and then also a dip to have with crudité or a little snack board. So if you're hosting or if you just have a big family, this is a really easy, delicious, doable meal. So we're going to get started with our chickpeas, which will be our protein for the dish today. So we're gonna make crispy air-fried chickpeas. Chickpeas have about 14 grams of protein per cup of cooked chickpeas. So what I've done is just taken a can of chickpeas, I drained them, rinsed them really well, and then laid them out on a towel, pat them dry. I have found that the best way to get chickpeas really crispy is to air fry them totally plain and put the seasoning on afterwards. So I have my air fryer here. I'm just gonna take my chickpeas, which have been drying for a little while, and put them in. And we're gonna put these on 250 for about 10 minutes, and then we'll check and see where we're at. If this works, let's see. Here we go. All right, so these are off and going, and Noah's gonna get us started on our mushroom shawarma.
Okay, so today we're going to be cooking with cremini mushrooms, which are also known as baby bella, and oyster mushrooms. So I've got my mixture here. I've cleaned them. I've cut them up. One thing to note when you're cleaning mushrooms, you want to just clean them with a damp paper towel. You don't want to run them underwater or submerge them underwater in any way, because mushrooms are really absorbent. They'll absorb any liquid they come in contact with.
It's basically like a sponge.
Like a sponge here. So that's the cremini, and I'm using these oyster mushrooms, which are beautiful. We just got these yesterday. So to this mushroom mixture, I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil. Avocado oil is a great oil for cooking in high heat. It has a very high smoke point, which means the oil maintains its integrity at high heat. It doesn't break down. Some other oils are not great for cooking, but they're good for salads like olive oil, things like that. So I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of this oil on. I think that's probably good. Maybe a little more. Okay, and then we've got our shawarma seasoning. So shawarma is a great spice mixture. It contains usually about 7 different herbs and spices. That's got coriander, cumin, cardamom, cinnamon, turmeric, paprika, and ginger.
So you can definitely make your own shawarma mix if you know the proper proportions, or if you can find it in a store. Again, with plant-based recipes, we're all about keeping it simple but super flavorful. So this spice mixture is gonna take those mushrooms to the next level.
Yeah, I'm gonna just drizzle in a little salt here.
And we've got our pan heating up, high heat. Like Noah said, very little oil, very hot pan. That's how you're gonna get the desired texture.
Just going to throw on some gloves and just mix these by hand. And so, you want to just make sure everything is evenly coated. You get all the herbs in there, covering the mushrooms well, as even as possible. I can see that the mushrooms are already absorbing some of this oil, but that's fine. Once they start cooking, the mushrooms will release not only the oil, but the water that is in the mushrooms as well. So
if you're somebody that thinks you don't like mushrooms because of the texture, if you find them to be slimy, I would suggest cooking them a little bit longer. It takes about 10 minutes for mushrooms to really release all the liquid, and that's when you're gonna get a nice browning on them and gonna have a better texture overall.
I'm gonna add just a little more spice.
I'm gonna turn this pan up. Oh, you can hear that little tiny sizzle.
Yeah, we love that sizzle. That means we're doing it right here. It's cooking well. Okay, I think they're good. I'm gonna add these in and start to saute them.
Mushrooms have a little bit of protein. I feel like people generally think of mushroom as like the meat alternative. I would say that's more for the meaty texture. Not a ton of protein in mushrooms, which is why we're adding chickpeas to our dish. But overall, together, this is gonna be a complete nutritious meal.
So when you're cooking the mushrooms, they will start to release some of their water, which is great. That's what you want because, as Alex said, we won't have slimy mushrooms. We're going to get a really nice flavor. Sautéing them this way really wakes up the flavor of the mushroom.
It already smells so good.
And I'm kind of choking from the spice of this. It's going to be a nice spice. But yeah, so we're just going to saute this. It'll probably take, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. What you want to do is get a nice browning on the mushrooms. You don't want to overcook them. You don't want them to burn, but you want to just get a nice brown. That'll really release the flavor.
So Noah's gonna keep them moving, get them nice and cooked, and I'm gonna get started on our muhamara dip over here. So when you are making a snack board, I think doing a muhamara dip is really fun because it's a little bit more interesting than your basic hummus or a white bean dip. Don't get me wrong, your girl loves the good hummus, but this is a little bit more interesting and flavorful. So a muhamara dip, the base is roasted red peppers. So I'm literally just gonna take all of our ingredients here and throw them in a blender. So I've got 2 whole roasted red peppers with a little bit of the juices. And then we're also gonna throw in a 1/4 pound of toasted walnuts. This is gonna give a nice bite to this dip. We're also gonna throw in 3/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs. 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And then we've got some garlic, just a clove of garlic here. Some tomato paste. This is, I believe, 2.5 tablespoons. Let's do this the right way. I'm a righty, can't do this the other way. All right. So this is gonna have a really beautiful, bright color, which draws the eye to the snack board along with our fresh crudité. What else? We've got a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar, 1/2 tablespoon of each. And then we have some smoked paprika, some cayenne pepper, sumac harvested right from Montauk, thanks to our very own Jeremy Bletstein. Thanks, chef, for hooking it up. And our last ingredient, this is kind of the secret ingredient that makes this dish very tart and flavorful. This is pomegranate molasses. So 2 tablespoons going in. Let's give this bowl a little scrape.
And the mushrooms are getting nice and soft now. They can really see they're releasing a lot of their water, which is good.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we want. So, at this point, they're kind of still a little mushy. But we're gonna let the pan do its job and get some of that water out. You can really see it evaporate.
This is when you don't want to serve them.
Yeah.
You got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And did you notice how we started with a big mound of mushroom? They really, really cook down.
Yeah, the mushrooms are really reduced in volume. So if you think you've got too much mushrooms, you probably don't when you start. So
It's like spinach. When you cook spinach, you start with like a mountain and you end up with absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So go big or go home. We're gonna blend up our muhamara here. So beautiful. I'm just gonna scrape down the sides real quick. Got some breadcrumbs stuck back here. We actually made this whole meal for the first time a couple of years ago. Our birthdays are a week apart, so we had a dinner party and decided to throw like a mushroom shawarma night, which was the first time we made muhamara, first time we used shawarma seasoning, and everybody was so stoked on the meal. It was so good. I'm gonna give this one more buzz. Do this in a food processor, whatever works, and that's it. So simple. So what I'm gonna do here is put it in a bowl to serve alongside our crudité. Makes a really decent amount too. And you always want to garnish your dip. So what we can do when our chickpeas are done cooking, we can throw a couple of chickpeas on top. Some fresh, bright herbs are always a good idea.
All right, mushrooms are getting there. I turned up the heat a little bit to just get some more of that liquid out, start to get a nice browning on there. I can see some of the little cremini mushrooms are getting a nice color to them, and the oysters have really reduced. You know, they're almost unrecognizable now from where we started, but that's okay. The flavor's going to be there, and yeah, I think just keep stirring this. You know, with a saute, you really want to just keep the food moving in the pan.
High heat.
High heat, and you know, just keeping an eye on it. You don't want to overcook.
I am going to garnish this with just a little drizzle of olive oil. All right, you can use the back of your rubber spatula to kind of make some grooves in the dip. I've got flake salt here. And then Noah, if you could grab me a pinch of parsley
Yeah.
to add a little bright color.
We've got our fresh herbs here. We're going to use some dill in a minute, but we've got the parsley and the dill. We're going to put the parsley on there. You want to just do a little garnish like so, like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is our muhammara dip. Could not be more simple. And we're going to put that right here with our crudité. Muhammara actually goes really well with the shawarma. We're going to make a different sauce in just a moment, but you could add the muhammara to your bowl. You could also just snack on it like this. Let's give it a taste. Oh my God. I love roasted red peppers, so this dip is a winner for me.
I mean, even if you only make this and bring it to your the muhammara dip and bring it to your next party as like a potluck or whatever,
It'll be a
the
hit.
guests will be blown away. They'll be like, "What is this? How did you make this?" And as you saw, it couldn't be simpler.
So we're gonna check our chickpeas. Our timer just went off here. Oh yeah.
Nice and crispy.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Actually, I'm gonna drop a few. That's okay. We're gonna put these on for a little bit more time. I would say about 5 more minutes. So again, 250 in the air fryer. And then we'll season them.
I almost think I should have added even more mushrooms, but that's fine.
Yeah.
This is enough. We're just making 2 bowls today. If you were gonna have a big party, you want to make a lot more, but
Yeah.
I do forget how much the mushrooms reduce. They're like mostly water.
So why don't I take over?
Okay, great.
And you can start our tzatziki.
Okay, so a great accompaniment for this type of food is a tzatziki sauce. So tzatziki is a yogurt-based sauce made with traditional yogurt, normally, but today we're going to use some cashew yogurt. It's yogurt made from cashews. It's a little milder than a coconut yogurt. That's another plant-based alternative to regular yogurt. We like the cashew because it's a little milder taste. And
it's really easy to manipulate and turn into something totally different.
Yeah, so that's our base of the tzatziki sauce. I'm going to add, first I'm going to grate some cucumbers to put into the tzatziki sauce. So just going to grate the cubes right here into this bowl with a little paper towel. I'm doing it onto the paper towel because I'm going to squeeze out the excess water once I've grated my cucumbers. Because cucumbers are very high in water as well, like the mushrooms, so we don't want to dilute the flavor of the tzatziki sauce with too much just additional water. So just by squeezing out the water, that will help retain the flavor, full flavor of the tzatziki sauce.
You can use paper towels. If you have a nut milk bag or cheesecloth, that works well, but paper towel will do just fine.
Right. I mean, you can see the water just dripping out of this, so definitely a step you don't want to miss. So, I don't know, 1 cucumber might be enough.
Yeah, let's
I'm gonna start with 1, and you can always shred a little more and see how it goes here. But
all this liquid has evaporated, so now we're working on browning these mushrooms.
all right, so here we go. Just a little squeeze.
Watch how much liquid comes out of here.
Yeah. Right. Like, I love cucumbers, but I don't want all that liquid.
You hear that?
Yeah. heard that. What was going on back there?
Pop in.
Chickpeas are starting to pop a little bit, like a little popcorn.
So if you don't strain your cucumbers, your sauce is going to be really runny. So we just want to make sure that they're pretty dry when we add them in.
Okay.
Oh,
That
yeah.
looks good there. All right, so we got the cucumbers in here. Gonna add some fresh minced garlic I just minced this morning. I don't know if I need all this, but we'll start with about half of that. That's probably like at least a clove that I'm about to drop in, maybe a clove and a half. And a little bit of salt, maybe for this amount, I don't know, a teaspoon of salt. I'm just kind of eyeballing it here, but again, you can always add more salt. It's a lot harder to take it out. You actually can't. So start with a little amount of salt, and then add as you need it. So also have some fresh squeezed lemon juice here. So I'm gonna just drizzle that in.
I'm also starting to
Yeah,
inhale this.
yeah, the spice is like vaporizing.
I've actually turned the pan off. We're getting some fond at the bottom of the those little brown bits. So pan is still hot, but I've turned it off the heat. Our mushrooms are basically done.
Right. So last but not least here, a little fresh ground black pepper. Let's give it a few cranks. Okay. I'm gonna just mix it with a spoon. Oh, how could I forget the dill? Dill is an herb that,
Kind of a big deal.
it's a big deal. Dill is an herb that I've kind of come around to. I didn't love it growing up, but in the right combination, I actually really enjoy it. So it goes well with the tzatziki. It's kind of an important ingredient. Yeah, so we got this fresh dill at the market. I just cut some up right before we started filming, so it's ready to go. And you know, you just want to mix it all in, and
That's it.
that's really it. And it's so good. I love this sauce, and I definitely would put this on sandwiches. You know, oftentimes you'll have like a falafel wrap.
Yeah, our last episode, the falafel tzatziki goes so well with that.
Yeah, so, okay. That looks well mixed. I'm just gonna give it a quick little taste. Needs a little more salt. I think I could even add more garlic.
We love a little more garlic.
I'm just gonna go ahead and add all this garlic. It's a lot of yogurt.
It's about 2 cups of cashew yogurt. We really like the brand Forager. I think it's my favorite plant-based yogurt.
Yeah.
I did the coconut yogurt for a while, but this again, I think to me it tastes the most like dairy yogurt.
Okay, I think we are well seasoned here. There's plenty of cucumbers. I don't need the other cucumber. Lots of dill, you know, I don't know if you can see that, but it's beautiful color.
All right, and let's check these chickpeas here. So, like I said, we are going to season our chickpea once it's out. So I think it's probably good. Let's see. Oh yeah. You can see here, you hear that? These chickpea are crispy, ready to go. So now that they're cooked, I'm gonna add them to a bowl. And you can season these however you like. I'm just gonna put like a drizzle, maybe a teaspoon and a half of olive oil. And then I have in here some garlic powder, salt, and sumac. Sumac has a really zesty, kind of florally lemon aroma and taste. It's honestly one of my favorite smells ever. So we're just gonna toss this in here.
And it's challenging to find it. Most stores don't carry it, so
Yeah,
Alex had the inspiration to reach out to a local chef who
had quite a lot
he
on
had
his
harvested
hands.
this in Montauk last summer. So thank you again, Jeremy.
These look beautiful. And now we're gonna build our bowls. So just like our last episode where we taught you how to make some Buddha bowls, we taught you how to make quinoa and pickled onions, which we have both of right here. You always wanna start with a green and a green. So today we are using shredded romaine. I talk a lot about texture because it really can elevate and just change up a whole dish. So rather than just like taking huge chunks of romaine, we shredded this pretty finely, almost like what you would find at a sub shop or a sandwich shop. This is gonna be our base. And then if you could pass me a spoon, I'm gonna add some quinoa as my grain. This dish goes so well with, what's the, saffron rice. That's what we did the last time, but today we're just gonna use quinoa. So I'm gonna go ahead and start building my bowl here.
And speaking of protein, Alex, Isn't quinoa high in protein?
It is. It contains all 9 essential amino acids. So you're getting protein from your quinoa, your chickpeas, a little bit from the mushrooms, but this is, again, a full, well-balanced meal. You've got fiber, complex carbohydrates, and protein, and it's just so bright and fresh. And even though it seems pretty similar to the falafel dish, the taste is entirely different. So it just goes to show you, like, when you just mix and match a few simple things, you can have a whole brand new dish. So can you pass me another spoon and a fork? We're gonna start to build here. So I'm gonna add some crispy chickpeas. These might be my favorite elements.
I'm gonna get going here too.
Okay, I'll take the tongs.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna add the mushrooms. To me, this looks like meat. This looks like shredded carnita or something.
Yeah, mushroom is really versatile. I mean, there's so many applications you can do. If you're looking to reduce your meat intake, look into cooking with mushrooms. There's so many varieties. There's some that are locally grown. We actually this summer had a chicken of the woods mushroom growing in our yard.
Humongous,
Massive.
like this big.
And it's
So
called
you can
chicken of
find
the
them.
woods. It's an appropriate name. I mean, it tastes like chicken. It has a natural lemony flavor to it. It's incredible. And but if you're not a mushroom forager, the ones at the store are great. And
Want some chickpeas?
yes, please. And you can really do a lot with them.
Yeah, these oyster mushrooms I've had made as calamari, which was so cool. So we're gonna add your shawarma. And then you can add whatever other ingredients you want. We're big fans of cucumber, tomato, and Kalamata olives, like in our falafel episode, so I'm gonna throw a little bit of that on here. And then we'll finish with our tzatziki. I'm gonna go ahead and do yours.
Yeah, great. Let's switch. All right.
Oh
I
my
love these
gosh.
pickled onions. We made this on our falafel bowl episode, as you just said, and
Wow.
so good. They really pop. The color really comes out when you pickle these. It's so easy.
I mean, take a look at this. How could you not want to eat this? It's so bright and beautiful. People eat with their eyes first. So the more color, the more fresh ingredients you're gonna have. I need some more pickled onions. The more intriguing the dish is gonna be. Look at that. How beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
When did you first get introduced to this dish? Or
Our
to shawarma in
birthdays.
general?
Our birthdays.
And so, yeah, all right. So we just like,
Recently started
inspired.
discovering this.
because I'd never heard of it before that myself. You know, I've heard of falafel and
It's similar to gyro,
Yeah.
or gyro,
gyro.
but shawarma is traditionally served with pickled fruits and vegetables. Gyros are always like the tomato, cucumber. So we got a little bit of a mix going on. I'm actually gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this mukhmara too, because why not? We love the color, we love the flavor combination.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how easy was this? Ina would be proud.
Ina would
How
be
easy
proud.
is that?
It came together really quickly. I mean, we did a little bit of prep, but that's all you need to really do with plant-based cooking is, you know, focus on your prep, and then it all comes together real quickly.
Yeah. Do you want some mukhmara?
I would love some, thank you. Yeah, I'm just piling on this tzatziki. I love it so much.
All right. Should we give it a taste?
Yeah, let's do that. I need a fork.
Cheers.
Cheers. Here's to good health and good eating and good food.
Yes. Oh my God. Gotta get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's the trick here. It's like, can we get a little bit of everything in our bowl?
Oh my gosh.
I need a little of this. Well, I think I got most of it.
Look at that. We got a little bit of everything in each bite. My mouth is like exploding with flavor right now.
Yeah, that is so good.
And this is one of those dishes too where you're gonna want to make a lot. You want leftovers because the longer the food sits, the more it's going to absorb all the flavor, really kind of melds together, and it's just so good. Oh my goodness. So that's it. We have our crudité too. People can snack on. This is great for people to kind of build their own bowl. So you can take what you like, leave what you don't. But overall, I think this is a winner.
Definitely a hit at any party. So good.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you try out these recipes. We hope you found some inspiration in what we taught you today, and we will see you next time.